Hello YouTubers, this is Jacques from The Moving Icon, and quickly I will talk to you about the Zhiyun crane, why I picked it, and why so far I love this stabilizer. Now, before I start this video, I just want to tell you guys, this is really my impressions, people. It's not going to get very technical. I just want to tell you I love this thing. I really do. And I love it for a couple of reasons, and that's what I want to talk about today. But before I begin, let's talk about some of the video shoots coming up and some of the stuff I've already done. There's Claudiane and there's Meg and Owen. Check them out. Now, stay tuned for Raphael, who's coming up very soon, and Claudia. And those were two photo shoots that I also had a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's get into this Zhiyun crane. Hey YouTubers, I recently had a gig to do, and it was for a dance company, and what I wanted to do was go film. And when you check any sort of dance video out there by the greats of T. Millie and the rest, you definitely have to film these things with a camera gimbal system. What is a camera gimbal system? Well, it is this. It is a system of stabilization for a camera. What you do is you place your camera on a plate here. Let me see if you guys can, there. You place a camera on a plate here, the camera counterbalances and is in 3D space on 3 axes. One here, and one here. It's called, a lot of times they're called a 3-axis brushless gimbal. There are certain companies that have this gimbal out there. There's DJI and others. My choice was narrowed down to the Zhiyun or the Ronin M by DJI. Now, first of all, I just want to talk about how come it's just so fantastic, how great it is. Now, I don't have a lot of experience with using any sort of balancing stedicam or system like that. And the first point I'd like to make with this thing is that if you check the web, you will find out that a lot of people talk about initial balancing, because what you have to do with these gimbals is you have to initially balance the camera on the gimbal system. Why do you have to initially balance? Well, you got to make sure that each active motor in each of these 3 axes doesn't work too hard, because you'll drain battery power and work too hard on the gimbal motors and stuff like that. So what you have to do is initially balance. The first thing that impressed me so much about this gimbal system was the fact that it was balanced in 10 minutes. I've never done this before. I opened the manual and poof, it was balanced. I had it balanced. I checked the manual a bit, pressed the little on button, and poof, it was up and running. I was ready to go. And that to me is a bonus. Anytime I don't have to spend time learning stuff is a cool thing. Another thing that I really like about this system is the fact that it's toolless. There are no tools. You don't have to pull out an Allen wrench or anything when you want to stabilize and balance. If you look here, you'll see that there's a thumb screw, and over here there's a slider system. Now what you do is you take the thumb screw here, you loosen it, slide your system, your arm or your bar as you're balancing, and once you're ready to go, you retighten that thumb screw, and that's it. So the fact that it was toolless was a real bonus. Another thing I liked about this is that the stand itself comes with a small miniature tripod at the bottom. When you see it on the brochure, you look at that tripod and you say, ooh, this isn't that stable, but believe it or not, it tends to be relatively stable. Another thing that was very cool is at the bottom of the arm of this stabilizer is a standard screw for putting this on a tripod. So it's the standard screw for tripods. A great thing about this gimbal as well is the build quality. Everything is machined, it's very well made, it's solid, it's firm, guys. And you're talking to someone who breaks a lot of stuff. I have dropped a lot of cameras. I'm not proud of it, but I have dropped a lot of cameras. And this thing is solid in every sense of the word. The way you work with it, the way it is really nice. So I just wanted to mention that the build quality, if you're ever wondering about it and you see it, it's really nice. It also comes with an external app for calibration and stuff like that, and that's really kind of cool. I like that fact. And that as well, via Bluetooth, takes a couple of seconds and you're up and running. You just follow the instructions and it will be up and running, people. Now quickly, I just want to go through what's in the box when you buy the Zhiyun crane. When you open it up, you have a couple of things. You have 2 sets of battery packs. Let me check this out. You have 2 sets of battery packs. These are really good batteries. They last long. That's another thing I wanted to say about this. The battery life is literally infinite. I mean, once you charge the batteries and you stick them into the Zhiyun crane, you're up and running. You get this nice foam case. It's really not bad. It's laser cut. You also get this right here, which is an actual lens support mount. Now, if I take the crane right here, you will see that in the front, there is a little screw here. They give you the thumb screw to go with it. You place this here. If you have a bigger lens, you have a thumb screw mount here to actually hold and support the lens if it's longer. So that was also a bonus. You get 2 thumb screws, everybody. One for the camera and one for the lens mount. You also get a little selfie thing for cell phones. I do not know what that's for. I have to see. Maybe this thing can actually balance smaller cameras and even cell phones. So that might be another bonus. If any of you know, please tell me. You get a USB cord to actually charge, and you get a charger right here. Let me see if they, focus in on that. You get a charger right here to charge your batteries. So 2 sets of batteries. The other set, I guess it's in the thing right now, and you get the charger. The case is nice. It is small, as you can see. You can carry this thing around and not worry about getting stuff done, and you know it's in a safe place, and you can pull it out when you want to. So for it delivering the ability to actually stabilize your camera and do a good job of it, I think it is definitely on par with all the rest, and it does an excellent job. One of the other cool things about this Zhiyun crane that I think a lot of people do not talk about on YouTube is its ability to go into inverted mode on the fly. Now, that might seem like something, well, you know, it's okay, it's a cool thing to have, but when you realize when you're filming, for example, a dance company, when I was filming the dance company, you film high when you have your arm out and you're filming high and you're filming your shot. What happens is when the dancer decides to go very, very low, what's really cool about the Zhiyun crane is you pull it out forward and you invert it, and it goes into inverted mode on the fly. You don't have to press a button or anything. It just flips to inverted mode and it's hanging down under you. When that happens, you can be almost to the ground with a stabilized camera and on the fly. I cannot overstate how much that is a bonus about this specific gimbal. If others have it, please tell me, but I really liked it. Another thing I wanted to mention was while I was doing the shoot, there just so happened to be a guy filming with a DJI Ronin M. And those are the things that sort of reinforced my my purchase of this specific gimbal. Now, the Ronin M is, I'm sure, an excellent gimbal system. A couple of things made me not buy it. A lot of people talk about the fact that it is not a big fan of anything involving Android products. So I said, you know what, maybe I might need that calibration software or something like that. And I knew that the Zhiyun, most people said that it works very well with Android. But what I also noticed is that with the Ronin M system, you are stuck in this one position where you have a situation where you have two bars like this, and you have the gimbal system hanging at the bottom. That restricts you quite a bit. You can go low and you can go high, but you have to pull yourself up. And I loved the fact that I can flip and work around with the Zhiyun. Do not be afraid, people, of holding the camera out like this when you're working. It actually is pretty comfortable. And I was a bit afraid of that. I said, well, if I'm holding the gimbal out, won't it hurt my arm? Won't it hurt my shoulder? It's actually ergonomically a lot of fun to work that way. So it's kind of cool with this gimbal to work with a system that works that way. Another bonus with the Zhiyun is that I got a small little remote control. What it does, it controls when the camera's on here, it actually controls the tilt up and down while you're filming. So you can work on a 2-operator setup where one person is actually holding the gimbal and actually walking around with it, and you can have the other person with the remote control and have the remote control on the side and actually control pan and tilt. Just tilt. So it offers a remote control, it offers great calibration system, and it offers communication with the actual gimbal system via Bluetooth. It's iPhone and Android friendly. Well, with all good, there's always a little bad, and I gotta tell you about the actual manual for this. You get a little sheet of paper. I just can't stand that. I think most companies, when you're spending $1,000, $600, $500 on a camera or any sort of piece of equipment, they should give you a full paper manual. I might be old, I don't know what to say, or at least give us a link to a very, very hefty and generous PDF. And please, please, please put it in English or put it in Chinese. Please do not put it in Chinese-English, in Chinglish, or in Englinese. So I want to get your views on what you're thinking. First of all, I'd like to know if you guys have been faced with a situation where you want to use a gimbal within your workflow. Secondly, if you do have a gimbal, please tell me which one you have and how you feel about it, whether it's working well or isn't working well for you. Do you have the Zhiyun and do you have problems? Want to hear about that as well, because I really just got this and I'm just learning about it. So I find that kind of cool. I welcome feedback from everyone. Little small mention as well. Do not forget, I talk about the Zhiyun crane and I also talk about the DJI Ronin M. I will leave links in my description to go click and go buy those products. When you buy them, it gives me a small cut and it makes all of this stuff a lot of fun and easier to do for me, and it is much appreciated. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. For my high quality stuff, check out Behance. If you want to keep in cahoots with what I do, subscribe. And if you like this video, don't forget to click the thumbs up at the bottom. And don't forget, everybody, keep on making something from nothing.